Hello, everyone, and welcome to what could be the most transformative information about weight management you will discover this year. What I'm about to reveal today will completely change how you understand your body's natural fat-burning processes, and I promise that by the end of this presentation, you will never view traditional dieting methods the same way again. I'm going to unveil the startling truth about why millions of people fail with conventional diet approaches, while others maintain their ideal weight effortlessly using a completely different strategy. Stay with me until the very end, because this is not just another diet comparison. This is scientific evidence that will show you exactly why one method guarantees failure while the other works harmoniously with your body's metabolic systems. Today, we are exploring the fundamental differences between traditional calorie restriction and their revolutionary glycemic index management approach. And what you learn today might transform your entire approach to health and wellness. Let us begin by examining what actually occurs when you follow a conventional calorie-restricted diet, and why this approach has become the standard recommendation in medical communities worldwide. The traditional low-calorie method represents the gold standard that healthcare professionals typically recommend when patients need to lose weight in clinical environments. This approach follows what appears to be logical mathematical reasoning, where we simply reduce daily food consumption below a person's estimated energy requirements. When someone typically burns approximately 2,000 calories daily, nutritionists usually recommend consuming only 1,500 calories, creating an energy deficit of roughly 25%. The fundamental theory assumes that when you create this caloric shortage, your body will automatically begin utilizing stored fat reserves to bridge the gap between energy intake and energy needs. On the surface, this methodology seems completely reasonable because it follows basic energy balance principles, produces initial weight reduction, and appears to make perfect mathematical sense. Now let me introduce you to the glycemic index approach, which operates on entirely different biological principles that most people have never encountered. The glycemic management strategy does not focus primarily on restricting total calories. Instead, it concentrates on controlling the rate at which your blood sugar elevates after each meal. Before we continue any further, please take just one moment to click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because the information I am sharing could literally transform your health forever, and I want to ensure you never miss any of our life-changing content. Understanding glycemic response reveals dramatic differences in how your body processes various types of food combinations throughout the day. When you consume meals with different glycemic ratings, whether low, moderate, or high, your metabolic system responds in completely different ways that affect your entire physiology. High glycemic meals trigger rapid blood glucose elevation followed by an equally dramatic decline, creating a metabolic roller coaster effect inside your body. This blood sugar spike immediately triggers your pancreas to release insulin, the master hormone responsible for glucose regulation and cellular energy management. Insulin's primary responsibility involves bringing elevated blood glucose back down to normal physiological ranges, and the higher your blood sugar rises, the more insulin your body must produce to maintain balance. The glycemic approach aims specifically to minimize these blood sugar spikes and maintain steady glucose levels throughout the entire day, thereby reducing excessive insulin production. This insulin management has profound implications, not just for weight control, but for preventing metabolic syndrome, diabetes, and numerous other serious health complications. Here is the crucial distinction you must understand completely. Calorie restriction forces your body to survive on less energy while hoping it will burn stored fat, whereas glycemic management works by optimizing your hormone balance to naturally promote fat burning. Now let us explore what actually happens inside your body during the complex digestion process, and how your fat storage and fat release systems really operate on a cellular level. When you eat any meal containing proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, your body initiates a sophisticated energy management process that most people completely misunderstand. Initially, incoming nutrients get processed and stored in your liver as glycogen, which functions like a readily accessible energy bank account for immediate metabolic needs. Your liver can store a limited amount of energy in this glycogen form, and once these storage sites reach maximum capacity, your body must find alternative storage solutions. Just like transferring money from a checking account to a savings account, when your checking account becomes full, your body converts excess energy into fat storage for future use. This conversion process transforms surplus glucose into fatty acids that get deposited in adipose tissue throughout your body for long-term energy storage and metabolic security. The critical factor controlling both fat storage and fat release is insulin, the hormone that acts like a metabolic traffic controller determining where energy goes and when it gets utilized. High insulin levels promote fat storage while simultaneously blocking fat release, creating a metabolic lock that prevents your body from accessing stored energy reserves when needed. This explains exactly why the glycemic approach proves so remarkably effective. It reduces insulin production, which decreases fat storage, while simultaneously unlocking your body's natural ability to burn stored fat efficiently. Traditional calorie-restricted diets typically fail to address glycemic impact, which creates a fundamental metabolic problem that sabotages long-term success and sustainable results. Most conventional diet plans include foods like whole grain crackers, whole wheat bread, and other processed grain products that may be lower in calories but still trigger significant insulin responses. While these diets eliminate obvious sources of excess calories, like added fats, alcohol, and refined sugars, they often include high glycemic foods that keep insulin levels dangerously elevated. When insulin remains high in your bloodstream, your fat cells stay locked in storage mode, preventing your body from accessing the very energy reserves you are desperately trying to burn. This creates a metabolic contradiction where your body needs energy due to calorie restriction, but cannot access stored fat due to elevated insulin levels blocking fat release. Faced with this impossible biological situation, your body makes a survival adaptation by reducing its metabolic rate, lowering energy expenditure to match the reduced caloric intake. This metabolic slowdown explains why people on calorie-restricted diets experience persistent hunger, feel chronically cold, develop intense food cravings, and suffer from constant fatigue and low energy. Your body literally cannot access its stored energy reserves, so it compensates by reducing all non-essential energy expenditure to preserve vital biological functions. Initially, calorie restriction does produce some noticeable weight loss, but this adaptive metabolic response quickly activates, causing weight loss to plateau completely within weeks. Eventually, your metabolism adjusts to the lower caloric intake, making further weight loss nearly impossible and setting you up for rapid weight regain when you return to normal eating patterns. The glycemic approach avoids this dangerous metabolic trap entirely by maintaining your body's natural ability to access stored fat for energy, creating sustainable weight loss without metabolic damage. The differences between these approaches become even more apparent when we examine their effects on blood sugar stability and daily energy levels throughout each day. High glycemic foods create dramatic blood sugar spikes, followed by steep crashes that drop glucose levels below normal baseline, a dangerous condition called reactive hypoglycemia. This reactive hypoglycemia commonly occurs with traditional diet approaches and creates a vicious cycle of symptoms that make long-term adherence nearly impossible for most people. Consider a typical diet breakfast recommendation of 3 or 4 whole grain crackers with low-fat spread or sugar-free jam as an example. Despite being relatively low in total calories, this meal has a high glycemic impact that triggers rapid blood glucose elevation, followed by insulin release and subsequent glucose crash. During the reactive hypoglycemia phase that follows this blood sugar spike, you experience overwhelming fatigue, intense food cravings, difficulty concentrating, and that familiar mid-morning energy crash. Your body interprets this blood sugar crash as biological starvation and responds by triggering powerful cravings, specifically for quick energy foods like sugar and refined carbohydrates. Calorie-restricted diets actually increase appetite and food cravings through this dangerous biological mechanism, working against your willpower rather than supporting your weight loss goals. These physiological cravings compound the psychological frustration of being denied favorite food. It's like chocolate, desserts, and other enjoyable eating experiences that bring satisfaction. The glycemic approach eliminates this problem entirely by selecting foods that provide steady energy release, without triggering insulin spikes and dangerous blood sugar crashes. You can still enjoy satisfying foods like dark chocolate and whole grains, but you choose varieties with lower glycemic impact that support stable blood sugar throughout the day. This approach eliminates both the physiological cravings caused by blood sugar instability and the psychological deprivation associated with restrictive dieting methods. The benefits of glycemic management extend far beyond simple weight control into comprehensive metabolic optimization and long-term health enhancement for your entire body. Maintaining stable blood glucose throughout each day prevents the energy fluctuations that leave countless people feeling exhausted and constantly battling overwhelming appetite urges. Your body becomes increasingly efficient at utilizing stored fat for fuel, enabling natural weight management without the hunger, fatigue, and metabolic damage associated with calorie restriction. Stable blood sugar also helps preserve lean muscle tissue during weight loss, because your body never enters starvation mode, where it might break down muscle protein for emergency energy. Maintaining muscle mass remains crucial for long-term weight management because muscle tissue burns calories even at rest, supporting a higher metabolic rate and better body composition. When you avoid constant blood sugar fluctuations, your stress hormone production remains balanced, further supporting healthy weight management and overall wellness throughout your life. The psychological advantages cannot be overstated because when you are not constantly fighting cravings and energy crashes, you naturally make better food choices and maintain healthy habits long-term. This sustainable approach means you are far more likely to achieve lasting results rather than experiencing there-bound weight gain that is virtually inevitable with restrictive calorie-counting methods. Your relationship with food becomes healthier and more intuitive because you are working with your body's natural regulatory systems rather than fighting against them constantly. The glycemic approach naturally incorporates more nutrient-dense whole foods, providing essential vitamins, minerals, and protective compounds that optimize every aspect of health and metabolic function. When your body receives adequate nutrition while maintaining stable blood glucose, every biological system operates more effectively, from immune function to cognitive performance to cardiovascular health. I hope this comprehensive explanation has opened your eyes to the superior effectiveness of the glycemic management approach and helped you understand exactly how these complex biological processes work within your own body. The key insight you must remember is that successful weight management depends primarily on optimizing insulin function rather than simply restricting calories and hoping for the best. Understanding how your body stores and releases fat will empower you to make informed decisions that support your long-term health goals, rather than sabotaging them through metabolic damage. I encourage you to begin implementing the lowest glycemic approach possible in your daily nutrition choices and start experiencing these remarkable benefits for yourself immediately. Please remember to like this video if it provided valuable insights and share it with anyone who might benefit from this information. I thank you, and we'll see you in the next video.